Well, I'm Keith Brigham. We also have Cody Jones in the back of the room. And I'll be presenting today for you. So let's get started. First off, we're going to talk about the agenda. So we're going to talk about setup and configuration of the tax software. And then we're going to do an input of a simple tax return. Okay? So pretty basic today. A little bit about our history. So TaxSlayer really started in the mid-60s, 1965. Aubrey Rhodes Sr. started with one tax office in 1965 and grew it over the years. By the mid-80s, they had about 21 locations. You'll see in 1980, Jimmy Rhodes was elected president of the company. Many of you in this room still know Jimmy Rhodes. He's still with the company. He's on the board of directors still, but he has now since passed on the company to his children, Brian Rhodes and Scott Rhodes, and his niece, Ashley Rhodes, which some of you met yesterday. Talks a little bit here in '84, Carl Rhodes and Zane Christopher became board members as well. Some of you may remember Zane. He was here last night as well for the social. That was good to see him. A little bit more about the history here. In '93, though, TaxSlayer Pro software was introduced to tax preparers. So 1993, it's been a while. You'll see here, this is about what it looked like in 1993. Hopefully none of you guys were using the software in 1993. You probably wouldn't need this class. And currently we serve more than 9,000 tax preparers in the United States. Okay, starting to talk here about the state and electronic e-filing. Federal state e-file allows for the electronic filing of both federal and state income tax returns at the same time. The electronic filing software places the federal and state return data in separate packets. These packets are then transmitted to the IRS in an envelope. The IRS functions as an electronic post office for the participating state, which receives and processes the state electronic return. Most of you know that. Okay, before tax season begins, it just says to check the regulatory requirements for each state which you plan to e-file. Some states require that you maintain their signature document in your office for 3 to 4 years. Okay. TaxSlayer Pro hardware requirements. If you guys are interested in this, pretty much any computer that you buy nowadays is going to work. Any Windows-based computer, I should say. So, and see, you got the Apple book there. To load the software, it's written for Windows computers. So, hopefully, you guys all have Windows computers. Windows 7, Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10, any of that should be just fine.
Would you ever switch over to Mac, or is it all going to be Windows-based?
You know, the desktop software, I believe, will always be Windows-based. We do have a web-based software, obviously, that will work on any computer that has internet service. Okay. You want a high-speed internet connection for downloading the program, e-filing returns, and downloading updates. Recommended printer. Get the fastest printer you can afford. Now we're going to talk about installation and configuration. So this is what the software, the home screen of the software looks like. It's got a few more icons up top, but this is what you're going to see. After downloading the software, the setup will begin. Are you guys familiar with downloading the software? Does anybody have any questions about downloading the software right this second? No? Okay, we'll go through it quickly then. It'll load to your C drive here. You'll hit the next button. It'll take you, well, it says by selecting the back button, you can change or review your installation settings. You're going to get an icon on your desktop that looks like this. Now, they talked about that new logo yesterday. Everybody saw the new logo with the knight helmet. I don't know if we're planning on changing that on the desktop software this year. I don't think so. So more than likely, you'll continue to see the same logo on your desktop. Okay? So it'll look like that. It'll say 2017, obviously. The following statement will appear on your screen when you open the program for the first time. It'll say, thank you for choosing TaxSlayer Pro. On the next few screens, you'll be asked to enter in information pertaining to your firm. So you'll do that. It'll ask about a network. Does anybody in here use a network? You guys do. So it'll ask you if you're using a network. Of course, you'll say yes. make sure you have your network administrator answer the following questions. Okay? And then you're going to be asked the question, is this your transmitting computer? You only want to have one computer. If you guys are using a network, you only want to have one computer designated as your transmitting computer. That way all of your reports and all of your acknowledgments come back to one central location. Okay, if you use TaxSlayer Pro on more than one computer in your office, you must load TaxSlayer Pro onto each computer. They call that peer-to-peer networking. Does anybody have questions about that? Loading it onto each computer? Okay. If you need assistance, obviously, with the installation of the program, you call our tech team. We'll be glad to help you out. And we'll be glad to help you network the software as well. Okay? Those of you that were with us last year experienced this. We've got some new protection measures, okay? We ask that you now put in the EFIN validation code. That EFIN validation code can be found in your My Account under the Account History tab. You'll see a receipt for your purchase of the TaxSlayer Pro software, and that EFIN validation code is located there. Okay? You're also going to be asked about this admin. You're going to have two accounts. You're going to have an admin account that you'll log into, and then you also have your preparers, and yourself will have your own preparer account that you'll log into with the software. So the admin account, you can change the preparers, you can change the roles of the preparers, the securities of the preparers, the configuration. You can really do anything you want, but when you go in to prepare the returns, you're going to log into your own preparer account, okay? That's where it talks about usernames and passwords here. Next, you'll be given the chance to enter information about your firm. Okay, so you'll enter firm name, contact name, your address. Obviously, your EFIN will go here, and then here's this spot for the EFIN validation code. And again, it gives you a little notification. This can be found in the History tab of the My Account. If you guys get confused, obviously, just call us. We'll show you right where it is. Okay. Fill in all the firm information pertaining to your office. Make sure that EFIN validation code and the EFIN is correct. Okay. All right, after completing your firm information and clicking OK, the screen will below will appear. Okay, so let's go into Company Setup menu. You can click the menu items and make any corrections or additions that may be necessary. You know, here's your firm name, again, branch office name, contact, street address, phone numbers. There's your firm EFIN. List is there for you. Here it talks about what the password needs to be. You got to have an upper and lowercase letter. You got to use one number, at least one number, and one special character. And the password needs to be between 8 and 30 characters. Okay, so if it doesn't match that requirement, it's not going to let you continue. After you set the password, it's going to ask you to create a security question and answer in case you forget your password. Okay, so hopefully you don't forget that. All right, at this time, the configuration process, you will need to enter your individual preparer information. That's what we were talking about here. So each preparer, you'll just click the new button right there, and you'll enter in that preparer. So each preparer will have their own code. Do you guys, I'm assuming you guys with the network obviously have numerous preparers, right? Okay. So you'll enter in their name, their P10. They'll have their own username that you can create or they can create. Okay. Now you will be at the Prepare Edit menu. Okay, here you can make any necessary corrections by clicking on the appropriate menu item. If you don't have a P10, you will be preparing returns for compensation. You will need to register for one at irs.gov, tax professionals, the P10 section. Okay. While in the Prepare Edit menu, note that the Prepare Practitioner PIN, the program will automatically generate this number for you. Okay? Your practitioner PIN will automatically print on the 8879. And there it is. Finally, before leaving the Prepare Edit menu, you may want to set up your program security. Okay? There it is, option 15. And you'll get a list of options for this prepare. Okay? You know, do you want them to be able to e-file? Do you want them to be able to access the quick calc? Do you want them to be able to remove clients, print checks? Some of these options you may want them to do, obviously, and some of them you may not. And if you do not want them, I think everything's defaulted to yes, but if you do not want them to have that option, you just go to that line item, click on it, and you can toggle it to no. Very simple. Okay? Also, it talks about roles in here. So there's different types of roles. Option 3, this particular role is an unlimited, so they're all defaulted to yes. Okay, so here are the roles. You got administrator, return preparer, super user, and unlimited. And again, that just changes the, if we go backwards, these different prepare securities. Okay, you can now control the options for each preparer has access to. Does anybody have questions about that? No? Okay. Probably not a lot of questions, period. It's early. You can also limit the access of tax returns to only those returns completed by the preparer, which that's what a lot of people do. Okay? In other words, a preparer whose access is limited can only open those returns that contain his or her preparer code number. All right, once you exit the prepare security screen, you'll be given the opportunity to enter in other preparers. So you'll go back to, you'll see the same box here. You'll see the preparer that you just entered in. You just click new, and you can do the same process for the new preparer. Or if you want to edit that preparer that's already there, you can highlight David Elijah there and click edit. Or you can highlight David Elijah and click delete. Once complete, you're just going to exit out. Okay. The next step will be to select the bank. Do you guys do bank products? Does everybody in here do bank products? Okay. So, you know, you register for your bank in your My Account. You send over the application. You're approved. That will be automatically integrated into your software. So you download your software. You're going to pick your bank there. Just remember, you must be approved by one of these banks to obviously prepare bank products with TaxSlayer Pro software. Okay, review your bank setup. So you'll go to the bank setup menu. It'll say option 1, bank used for bank products. Right here, the default for this slideshow anyway is Refund Advantage. And then it'll talk about, can you offer advanced loans? I don't know, are you guys offering advances? Everybody? Some of you are not? Okay. Well, if you are, obviously it'll say yes there, and then you'll just continue along. Next, in the installation setup of the program, you go to the fee table. Okay, so those of you set your own fees, you know, whatever your area calls for. Some people call us and they'll say, Keith, you know, we don't know what to charge. What should I charge? Well, everybody's different. You may charge one thing, you may charge one thing, you charge something else. So we typically suggest do some recon work, call some other tax professionals in your area, see what they charge, and be competitive to what they charge. A lot of you that already have the software from year to year, you know that you can pull these fees from prior years to make it simple so you're not re-entering every year. You can also, you know, times change, things increase. You can increase or decrease your fees here by a percentage, which is nice. Okay. It says you can left click on any form to enter the fee of that particular form. So example, they just clicked on the 1040 line, and here they are entering $210 to complete a 1040. All forms within the TaxSlayer Pro software program are listed on this fee table. Okay. You'll see here it's marked all forms, but you can select just your federal forms or just your state forms or just business or state business. Okay. Next, the macro setup option will allow you to save time as you prepare tax returns. If you don't wish to pre-enter employer, bank, daycare information, etc., you can select no. So this software will also store those macros as you enter them in when you start preparing returns as well. Some people like to set them up in advance. Some people just, you know, when they enter a tax return, it saves. So 6 in one, half dozen in the other. Does anybody have questions about macros and saving information? No? Okay. If you click yes, the next few screens show you the info that can be pre-entered into the program. Again, these are called macros. So here they are, they're entering in employers. So if you got a lot of folks that work for TaxSlayer, for example, you can go ahead and put in that macro. When it comes time for the W-2, you just click on employers and all that TaxSlayer information will populate for you instead of you entering it. Okay. Here they are entering in the most common interest and dividend payers. Most common K-1 entries. And most common child care providers. And most common charitable organizations. And lastly, the most common banks and routing transit numbers. Okay. Next, you'll be asked if you purchased the TaxSlayer Pro Premium Bundle. Does anybody in here not have the premium package? Everybody has premium? That's great. Okay. So it'll ask you, obviously, everybody in here will select yes. And then it's going to say, when you purchase TaxSlayer Pro, you are given an activation code. Enter in your activation code. Okay? Your activation code, that is found in your My Account as well. So you'll have a Pro Premium tab in the My Account on the left-hand side. You can click on that. It'll show you the premium code there. Okay? Once you've successfully entered in your activation code, you'll be asked a few questions about your email preferences. So this is papercut. Do you guys use papercut? Do you guys email your returns to the taxpayers? No, some of you print them off. If you can, I would suggest try to do that. That's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of money, save you a lot of paper. And it's really easy to do. So you'll put in your What's that?
I said it's really handy during the summer. When they call you, you get copies, you got your laptop at home, boom, like drive into the office, do it, or need them, you just kind of email it to them, you're done.
Exactly, exactly. And it's very secure. Yes, ma'am.
As a preparer, do you email it when the client is right there, or is that saved in a bunch emailed later?
You can go either way. A lot of folks I work with like to email it right away. Here you are, you get your electronic copy right away. You'll see it pop up in your email. To access it, you'll just click on it, enter in the last 4 of your social, and you can pull it up. I talk to a lot of folks who have, large offices, 400 plus clients, and they try to push everybody to a paperless copy. But if you would prefer to email later, you can do that as well. So.
It's hard to get the older people to go that way, though.
It is, it definitely is. Some people obviously don't have email, right? So, or don't know anything about it, and obviously you just print off a copy. I've talked to people before who, they were having a hard time transitioning, I guess. And so what they did, they made a big sign to say, we'll give you a printed copy, but it's $10. Or we do free emailed copies. And then everybody goes, oh, well then I guess just email it to me. And of course, if anybody raises a stink, then you just give them a printed copy, right? Any other questions about emailing through the software at this time? No? Okay. So next you'll have the opportunity to enter in the email address which you use in the program. Here's where you enter in your email address, okay? This is your own personal email address which you're going to use. That's going to pop up when they receive. You want Peg, Peg, if you're sending me my return and I want to know that it's coming from you, right? So I'll see your email address there.
One problem we have with that, a lot of times when the customer receives it, it goes to their junk, spam. They'll call you, if I didn't get it, they'll just look at your junk and your spam.
That's a great point, and I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. So, and we have that when we send emails sometimes to you guys, as well. So hey, I never got it. And exactly. So look in your junk, look in your spam. Make me a safe sender, right? You will then be prompted to configure your TaxSlayer Pro Premium options. So here it is. This is the premium configuration menu. Use the papercut, paperless office option. Yes. I mean, if you have premium, that's what you want to use. You want that set as yes. Ask the printer to print PDF when marking returns complete. All that's defaulted to yes. If you don't want to do any of that, you can just toggle it to no. You also have a send text messages to clients. You got to allow signature pad options. Do you guys use the signature pad? Does anybody not use the signature pad? No? The signature pad's great. You can get a signature pad, a Topaz signature pad for like $80 on Amazon. What's that?
The boss.
Okay, all right. Well, hopefully the boss isn't watching this video. This is recorded, by the way. Camera, don't get her, okay? But it's $80, and so it's nice, and the clients can sign this, their signature on the signature pad, and that signature stores right in the return. So instead of you having to print off the return, have them sign it, and you put it in a filing cabinet, right? Go electronic. Okay. If you wish to send text messages to your clients, make sure that you read the following carefully. Talks about sending text alerts to your clients as real-time system that runs 24 hours a day. When you print a bank product check for your client, they will be sent a text alert regardless of the time of day. So keep that in mind. Make sure your clients are aware of your business hours. You are also required to keep on file the signed disclosure from your client that prints out, allowing you to send text alerts to the clients. Did any of y'all use that for the bank products, the texting alert? Yeah. You do? Does that work well for you? Yeah. Okay. I hear mixed reviews on that. Some people really like it. Some people prefer to just notify.
They got a message, they gotta check at 3 o'clock in the morning, call me when they get in there.
Exactly. So that's why a lot of people do not do it. It's great in theory, but that's the fear. They're banging on the door when you're not there. Where are you? Okay, premium configuration menu, all prepped and ready. So we're good to go. You will now see the following message: preparing to exit TaxSlayer Pro so that configuration settings can be applied. Your system date is, so it's got to match up, right, to whatever it says on your computer that day. The date is correct. Please change the date in the windows. Excuse me, if it's incorrect, please change the date. All right? Double click on the icon now and we can start the program once you've gone through the initial setup. There's the icon again. That's what it's going to look like on your desktop. And when you open it up, it's going to look like this. Again, you got more icons across the top. Okay. Windows 7 users. It talks about turning off the UAC, which is user account controls. And this is how you do it. Pretty simple. If you have questions about it, just call our support team. Everybody should know that number. Keep it on speed dial, and they'll walk you right through it. Okay. Windows 8, this is how you turn off UAC there. And this is how you do it with Windows 10. So, there you go. Call support. Does that guy work for us, Cody? Looks like one of our guys. Downloading program updates. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like when you open it up. Download program updates. You're going to go to option 10 down there at the bottom. Everybody knows you can either use a mouse or keep your right hand on the number pad and enter the 10 into the enter option box below. Okay, this box will appear. Select the option to download install updates. That's option 1. And you'll see here you've got your individual 1040 updates up here at the top. And then you've got all your state updates. So if you see it in red, any of these states in red, that's what you need an update for. Now, just because they're red doesn't necessarily mean you got to go and pick up the update either. If you've got a red Michigan highlighted and you don't do any Michigan returns, you don't need to go necessarily pick up the update, right? But if you are doing Michigan returns, you need the update. Yes?
I have a question on that. I was told we have 3 computers.
Yes.
And I do not work on the main computer, on the server.
Okay.
I was told that I have to update or turn on use the server first before I can turn mine on. Is that right?
Who told you that? Is that one of?
Somebody from the office.
Then that's probably right.
Because it's sort of a pain for me.
Your server, it won't come up into your other computer, because if it takes all the information out of the server's not on, it can't get the information.
Well, it updates it for me until I learn different. I mean, when I turn mine on, it would update automatically. But then someone from the office told me that I have to do the server first.
Yeah, I would go that route. If it was doing the other way, then that's fine. I mean,
because I don't know that's where.
yeah. We'll look into that, but I'm pretty sure that you do need to update it from the main computer first. Okay. Anybody have any other questions about updating the 1040 or states? Okay. So once you click the download, you'll see a list of text here. Once it finishes, you'll read at the bottom. It says you now may exit the window. Then you can exit out. Okay. Once the updates have been installed, they will no longer be highlighted in red. You can then exit the update screen. Okay. To configure the updates that you wish to download automatically each day as you open the program, select the Configure Updates option, which is option 2. Okay, and then you're going to select the states that you will most often, well, we recommend that you limiting your choice to 3 states. So again, you know, if you are in North Carolina and you prepare North Carolina returns in Georgia and South Carolina, maybe Tennessee, you know, pick those states. Don't pick, you know, every state out there. It's going to just slow you down a little bit in the morning. Okay. The following explains how to go back into configuration and enter or change company fee and e-file information. For example, go back into configuration, enter your P10, do the following. Okay. From the opening screen, you'll choose option 7, which is configuration. Okay. Then
Do that from anyone, or do you have to do it from the admin?
you're going to do this from the admin. As far as you're saying for this particular, yes. Okay. Select option 1, which is the firm ERO prepare setup. Okay. Then you get select option 3, which is your prepare menus. You'll go into the prepare, highlight the prepare, click edit. Okay. And you'll be at the prepare edit menu where you can select P10 and enter the prepare tax identification number. Okay. Another example to change the pricing of your forms in TaxSlayer Pro. Again, you go to that configuration from the main menu, that option 7. Okay. You'll go into option 2 from here, the configuration menu. And here we are, fees and billing menu. Go to option 1, your fee setup menu. And now here you are, and you can go in and change the fees for whatever it is that you need to change the fees to. Once you finish, you'll click exit. Okay, you've had a great tax season, you've brought a new printer. Don't forget to tell your TaxSlayer program. Again, start at the configuration of the main menu. From the configuration main menu, select the option for printer copy setup. That's option number 4. Okay, select option number 1, printer setup. And select option 1, default tax printer, and select your brand of new printer from the list that appears below. If you have questions about printers, again, call the support team. They're experts. Okay? Creating a tax return in TaxSlayer Pro. From the main menu of TaxSlayer Pro, you'll click on tax returns. I don't know how my arrow got turned, but it got turned to Help Center, so you don't want to click on that. Click right above tax returns. Or again, you can click option 1 over here or enter in option 1 in the box, of course. Okay? You're going to receive a question. Effective January 1, 2009, Section 7216 of the Internal Revenue Code has been updating regardless of use. Disclose of tax return information by the tax preparers. In order to comply with new regulations, you should have each client sign a consent to use disclosure prior to beginning their tax return. Okay? So, once you click on that, the tax return option, you can have your client list appear. Some people do not like that. They kind of prefer to keep that private in case their computer's turned to the taxpayer. So you have an option to do that as well in configuration. Some people like it to appear though. You can also just click, now it's got just a box to enter in a social. Okay, so you can click in that box, type in the client's social. If it's a new client, it's going to say that client does not have any prior year history. Would you like to begin a new tax return? Yes. Or it may say that social's got prior year information. Would you like to pull it forward? You'd say yes. Yes, ma'am.
Say we can hide that list from coming out.
You can.
How do we do
That's in configuration. So we can show you that if you just want to call us when you get back on Monday, and we'll take it right to it. And you guys know this list is a fantastic list, and it can be sorted any kind of way. You know, you can click on any of these header columns and sort by whatever it is that you want to sort for. So first name, last name, A to Z, Z to A, however you want to do it. Okay. Right here it says, talks about entering the client's social security number. So you're entering it right up there at the top in the middle. That box should be highlighted. Okay. It's going to say right here, do you want to create a new return using the information from last year? Or it may say that return for that social does not exist. Do you want to create a new return? Okay. Yes is the default. You can just click enter and it'll take you to the next screen. So once we do that, it's going to take us straight to the filing status. Select the correct filing status for your client or return, and we will select head of household. For this return, we're going to do head of household. All right, then it's going to take you into personal information. So you'll type in the information there. Here they tried to continue without entering in the full address. So you'll get a little notification letting you know that you got to enter in the full address before continuing on. We also ask for a social security number twice on a new return. And some people say, well, why do you do that? Well, that's the most common reject there is out there. So we want to prevent rejects if possible. So we ask for it twice, and if it is entered incorrectly, it'll display that and it'll ask you which one is correct. And it gives you an opportunity at that time to make the change. And here that is. Okay. So once we complete the personal information, it'll take us back to kind of a recap menu. Here we can mark whether they're blind, deceased, student, $3 to the presidential campaign. Once we've finished, we'll enter in option 0 down there at the bottom right, or use our mouse to click 0 to exit. Good note down here at the bottom. If you anticipate that your clients want a bank product, I know most of you were doing bank products in here, you have to have 2 valid phone numbers. So go ahead and put the phone numbers in at that point. Okay, so you'll see option 13 is where you enter in their phone numbers. Okay. Also enter your client's email address at the taxpayer's information. So again, we talked about the paper cut and emailing the tax return to the client. This is where you want to enter in their email address. Okay. Next step is talks about dependents. Do you want to enter dependents now? Again, we're doing head of household, so they have dependents. So we'll say yes. It'll take you to the dependent information box. We'll just click new. And we'll enter in that dependent. Most dependents have the same last name, so you'll enter in first name, Jeremy, tab to the next field. You'll get to the last name, just click enter. It'll populate that last name for you as a time saver. Date of birth, when you get to relationship, you guys can just put S for son or D for daughter, that'll populate. Or there's a drop-down box with other options there. 12 months is defaulted for the number of months they've lived with. Obviously, there's a drop-down box, and you can change that if need be. Okay, qualifying dependent care expenses for this dependent. So you'll enter that amount in the box there. And then it'll take you into the dependent information menu. So everything's complete here. These questions are defaulted to the most common answer. If you guys need to change them or want to change them, just click on it and you can toggle it to the opposite answer, the default. Okay? So we've completed that. Dependent, if we want to enter another dependent, again, we'll just say new, or we'll highlight that dependent and click edit, or we can highlight that dependent and delete it if need be. Okay. Would you like to enter child care providers for this dependent care expenses? We'll go ahead and say yes. Now, takes you to the form 2441. Again, we're saying new. If you remember, we talked about macros in the beginning. If you have a lot of clients that use the same daycare, you could have put in that macro for that daycare. And when you get to this screen, you can hit F8 and select whatever daycare it is, and that daycare's information will then populate so you don't have to enter it every time. Or once you enter it one time, the first time you enter it Sunshine House, it stores the macro too. So, okay, so we're putting in the amount paid down there at the bottom, $3,100. And then you get the child care provider edit menu. Everything's complete. We continue on, exit. Brings us back to this box. Again, we could add more child care providers if we need them by just saying new, or we can edit that one or exit out. Okay, then it's going to say, please enter your preparer code. So each one of you has your own preparer number. You'll enter that code. It'll recognize you. For this example, it says, hello, David, have an excellent Thursday. Okay. Then it's going to ask you about insurance. Did you have minimum essential health care coverage for yourself or your spouse during the year? Most time this will be answered as yes. And then it's going to ask, did you or your spouse or dependent enroll through health insurance through the marketplace? And you'll mark the appropriate answer here. Then you're going to get a recap of the personal information you just entered. Review that. If everything's correct, we're exiting to move along. Okay. All of you guys that have premium, you all have access to the mobile app. Are you guys using the mobile app? Has anybody not used the mobile app yet? So about half. Awesome new tool. You know, and some people are just nervous because they're not great with technical stuff, right? And they're not just savvy. So everybody can go download the app for free right now, and you can try it out and see what you think about it, and this, you know, see what the taxpayer is going to see when they download it. But they can take pictures of 1099s and W-2s and send all this information to you, and then it'll populate into the software. But every picture that they take can be accessed right here from this personal information menu. There's going to be a PDF option there. You can click on that PDF option and see their W-2s or 1099s or whatever pictures they've taken. They'll store right there electronically.
Issue last year, I don't know if it was the taxpayer's camera, or the photos kept coming in grainy.
Yeah, I've heard that from a few folks, and you know, everybody's got a different phone out there, and everybody's got a different camera. The neat thing is with the software is you can chat back and forth to the mobile app. So you can send them a quick chat, hey, picture looks a little blurry. Do you mind sending another picture, and see if that...
A lot of that is they zoom in on it so big.
Yeah.
And take the picture, and when you get it, it's all grainy.
Yeah.
So if they can take a regular picture of it, and then you zoom in on your computer, it won't be as grainy.
Right.
Yeah, great point, great point. So, but anyway, I was just saying, in this personal information, you're going to have a tab here to where you can view those PDFs, okay? Let's take a quick look at other categories menu. Okay, that's option 5. When you click on it, this is what it's going to look like. Okay. Other categories of personal information menu. Forced itemized deductions or dual status alien. You got taxpayer's identity protection PIN. That seems to be more and more popular. More and more people are getting that identity protection PIN. If you get confused on where that is, it's listed again under other categories. You can either call us, or if you guys aren't using it, you can click on the knowledge base icon in the software. There's a little red tab that says help. You can click on that, and then you can type in identity protection PIN, and it'll tell you exactly where to put it in the TaxSlayer Pro software. Okay. We're just walking down a 1040 now. We've entered in personal information. Here we are on line 7. W-2, you want to enter W-2s now? Yes. After leaving personal information, you'll be asked to enter W-2 information. So here we are. We said yes, same type of box, W-2. We're going to say new. And here's your W-2. Cannot get more simple than this. Employer ID number. You can either type in the employer ID number, or again, if you got those macros, you can click on the employer button there and select whatever employer it may be, and that employer information will then populate for you. Okay. Clicking on the employers button will bring up the list of the employers that are stored in the program. So this one looks like we've got quite a few listed there. So again, if you wanted, you know, Hartford Insurance, you just double click there, and again, all of Hartford Insurance information will then populate on that W-2. Okay? The Social Security wages, Social Security tax withheld, Medicare wages, Medicare tax withheld, all that will automatically fill. You will need to enter in the federal withholdings. Now, sometimes you enter in those wages, and the Social Security wages is different on that W-2, right? If it's a tipped employee. So you just tab to that field and make the necessary change. Select your state's abbreviation from the drop-down box below. And there's your W-2. Okay? To change any entry on the W-2, just use your mouse, click in that field, or simply enter the number beside the block you need to change. Anybody have questions about that? Okay. All right, so we've entered our W-2. There it is. Again, if we want to enter a new one, we can just hit New. If we want to edit that one, highlight it, click Edit. Or maybe that's the only W-2 we could exit out. It says, what happens if you click the Other button? Anybody know that? You're going to have the Form W-2 Other Compensation menu. So you have the W-2 default state, foreign employer compensation, taxpayer scholarships, grants, fringe benefits, household employee income, prisoner earned income is all listed there. Okay. Once we complete the W-2, it'll take us to the income menu. Some people like to work off the income menu. Some people like to skip this and go straight to the 1040 page. So it's just a preference thing. Leaving the W-2 menu will then allow you to get to the edit menu, the income menu. If your client has any other income from any other source, you'll want to enter it now, okay? Once we complete that, it's going to ask us about the EIC checklist 8867. Okay, it'll tell you what you must answer. First two you must answer, and then the number 4 you must answer. So questions for all taxpayers, taxpayer with a qualifying child, and then residency qualifying children documents. The following questions apply to all taxpayers. Here we are, this is option 1. Was the taxpayer a non-resident alien any part of the year? No. You may press F8 key on your keyboard if you wish to add due diligence notes. That's highly recommended. So I don't know if you guys know that, but anytime you're in there, click F8 and you can add those additional notes. So this is just an example here. The notes screen will appear after pressing the F8 key on your keyboard. You're going to see a little description. Again, you can type in whatever it is that you need to type. Click OK. Next question, is the taxpayer a qualifying child of another person? Answer there, no. Did you complete the 8867 based on current information provided by the taxpayer, reasonably obtained by you? Yes, we did. Did you ask the taxpayer any additional questions that are necessary to meet your knowledge requirements? Yes. Did you document them? Yes. Did the taxpayer or spouse provide you with information necessary to answer? Yes. Okay, so now it'll show you that section you qualify. So now we got to go into part 2. This is the taxpayer with qualifying child. Okay. Does Jeremy qualify for another person? No. Now we qualify. So then we jump down to option 4, the residency questions. Okay. Select documents used to determine residency. So here's a list. Here's your school records, medical records, employer statement, so on and so forth.
Going back to the notes, it doesn't print out on the customer's copy, right?
The notes? I do not believe so. Oh, does it print off on the customer's copy? No. Yeah, you might want to be careful about that, but yeah. Double check, but yeah, should be no. The IRS requires the preparer to keep a copy of any documents they saw that they relied on for the purpose of determining eligibility. Okay, so now we have completed that 8867 EIC checklist menu. Once complete, we'll exit out. Okay. IRS Rule 6695 focuses on the knowledge requirement of due diligence rules. There is a $500 per return penalty for failure to meet the EIC due diligence requirements. So click on option 9 below to learn more about the due diligence requirements. Here we are, option 9. We can exit. Okay, this is a little blurry here, I don't know why, but it's payments estimates and EIC menu, okay? The program has calculated that our client is eligible for $2,158 earned income credit. Okay, it's listed there on line 6. You can then exit. Okay, and here we are at that 1040 screen that I just talked about. So, and again, that red help button's up there. That's the knowledge base. So some of you guys probably use it all the time, and some of you may not even know that it's there. Again, if you have a client that's got that identity protection pin and you don't know where to put it in the program, you can easily click on that red button and it'll guide you straight there. Okay? Here's that 1040 screen. This is enlarged a little bit, easier to see. There's all my information. There's my social. You should guys go ahead and write that down. From this screen, we can view the client's refund or access any other point on the 1040. So again, some people like to work off those menus, and some people like to work off the 1040 screen. There's the refund amount up top. Next step is to mark the return electronic for filing, option 12. Let's see where we are. Whew, getting close. Does the taxpayer want the tax preparation fees taken out of the refund? This is the bank product. Yes. Okay, then you're going to select what option they want. Do they want a check? Do they want a deposit? Do they want a debit card? Okay. Electronic mail check. Here the taxpayer's pin's going to populate. Your pin's going to populate. There's the date. Okay, and then we can view the Form 8879 if we would like. There it is. Pretty simple. Okay. E-file menu, return type is marked. There's the signature authorization for the 8879. Other e-file options. Okay, there's your e-fin listed there, prepare. After marking the federal for electronic, we can now prepare the state return. So you go to option 10. Make sure that you get your add backs and subtractions. Select your state. We pick Georgia. We say OK. We pick whether or not it's a resident, non-resident. Once we do that, you'll see everything pulls over from the federal side. Pretty simple. A lot of times, that's all you need to do. You can then exit out. If you want to view that Georgia state return, you'll have an icon at the top where you can click on it and view the state return. Okay. There's the electronic information menu, option 14. Do you want to file the Georgia state return electronically? Okay. Yes. Then you're marking if it's a state refund, direct deposit, or electronic mail check. Okay. Pretty simple. So anybody have questions about that? No? Okay. Once we exit the state return menu, we're now back at the main 1040 screen. If you want to view any client's forms from this screen, we can click on the View Results, which is option 11. Okay. And here you can print whatever it is that you're looking for. Okay. Now view just the 1040. There it is. We have finished the return and marked it for e-filing. We now can exit the receipt menu. There's the exit option here. There's the receipt menu. Here's your preparation fees, the total fees charged. There's the refund amount listed there. Are you ready to mark the return complete and ready for transmission? Yes. There it is. Do you wish to print the return to PDF? Yes. Back to the main menu. Okay, then we can e-file the return. Pretty simple. To e-file the return, select option 1. You have an unread high priority message. Would you like to read it now? Yes. Okay, read your messages before you e-file. Then you've got a transmission table. You can select which ones you want to e-file or transmit all of them at the same time. Do you want to print a list of clients selected to be sent to the IRS? Yes, you can do that, and that's what that list would look like. Is a printed list of clients to send correct? Yes, it is. Okay. You're now about to transmit the returns. Okay, we'll click connect, and there we go. We're sending. After you click the connect button to transmit your returns, you will see a series of messages. Scroll down your transmit receive screen. You can then click exit. Okay, and then you get all your reports there in that e-file menu as well. And there's the reports. Transmission confirmation report. Exit out. After e-filing, wait approximately 1 hour and then pick up the acknowledgments. Okay, go back into the same e-file option. Option 2, receive acknowledgments. Click connect. You must print all your reports before the program will allow you to e-file any other returns. Ta-da! Any questions? Thank you. Thank you. Well, if you guys have questions, you know, we'll be here the rest of the day, or you guys call us. You guys, everybody's got support number. And you got your account manager to lean on. We're here for you. Okay? Hopefully that helps with a little bit of understanding the setup and configuration of TaxSlayer Pro. Appreciate it.